everyone. It's Jazz. This is Giving Up the Ghost podcast. Welcome back. This episode today or tonight is part 2 of our Spirits with Spirits that happened back in April. So in April, we were joined by Chris Reed from the Winnipeg Ghostbusters. And then, as always, the second part of the show or evening from 8 to 9 is the open mic portion where we invite people to come up and share their stories with us. There is no judgment. We are like-minded, and it's a nice, safe atmosphere, safe place for people to share their experiences. Because sometimes in this cold, cruel world, people tend to judge and criticize other people for having experiences that they themselves do not comprehend. So that's what we do. We open up the mic. We let you tell us whatever you want to tell us. It could be a ghost story. It could be cryptids, Sasquatch, angels, well, we won't use that word, but you get the gist of that. So speaking of Spirits with Spirits, we have Spirits with Spirits coming up this Wednesday, May 27th. We highly recommend you come out and check it out. It's a nice evening where we get together. This month we don't have a special guest per se, but we are going to cover a topic that we covered 2 years ago when we were doing this over at the Little Brown Jug. We're going to talk about haunted highways in Manitoba just in time for vacation season. So, maybe when you're driving, just keep an eyeball out for strange occurrences that happen on your way to your cabin or the lake. Anyway, tons of things happening, tons of events. Thank you so much. I got to meet Keith with the Brandon Museum. I was out there on the May long weekend with Ashley Kelly, Ken and Christy of the Winnipeg Paranormal group. That was a cool night. Got to meet a lot of cool people from Brandon. Hey, Brandon. Definitely want to come back. I don't know. I love Brandon. I've always driven through or whatever. Haven't spent a lot of time there, but really, if I had to relocate, I'm not just saying that to kiss ass, but I'd go to Brandon. It's a great place. So if anybody from Brandon would like to share some ghost stories with us, definitely email us at givinguptheghostpodcast@gmail.com. Hopefully we'll make it back out there to the Daily House or something coming up in the not so distant future. Lots of events coming up. We have the beautifully, how do they say it? The curated market happening with Dos Broja, the Two Witch Co., at Woodhaven Community Center, June 26th. So we will now be pumping out lots of notifications on our socials for that one. So watch for that. Again, join us this Wednesday at the King's Head Pub. We'll be talking about haunted highways. And I think there's still tickets left for the Winnipeg Paranormal's Ghost Investigation Night at the St. James Museum. I love the St. James Museum. Super cool place. 3 buildings, all haunted. Go figure. Oh, and also it is Doors Open coming up this weekend. Highly encourage people to check that out too, because you know what? These are locations that normally you can't enter just as a regular person any other time of the year. So it's a nice time of the year where, not just hauntings, but histories and hauntings do go hand in hand because, that's what we say. And it's the perfect opportunity where they open their doors and let people come in and just absorb the history and maybe the hauntings. Bond Street Jail, am I right? So that's about it for my public notices this week. Again, visit us on all our socials: Facebook, TikTok, Instagram, Threads, Blue Sky. Yeah, mostly Facebook for sure. YouTube, we have a YouTube channel. Try to get some videos out on that, which we bundle the histories and the hauntings. And I guess that's about it. Enjoy tonight's episode. Tonight's episode's really cool. We had an Ashley, an Ash, an Emma, and a Matt come and tell us stories. One of a tattoo parlor, one of their homeland in Ireland and a house growing up, another one with stories with respects to just, their own personal experiences. And then Matt shared us with Camp Stevens. It's the oldest camp known in Canada and haunted AF. So there you go. Sleep well on that one, huh? Please certainly reach out to us with any of your stories, comments. If you want to be interviewed and you got a good story, you want to be interviewed and you're not shy, definitely reach out to us at givinguptheghostpodcast@gmail.com. hopefully me and Cher can get together in the next few weeks, I'm hoping, and record some, because we've had lots of people email us. So just to clean up all that. Anyway, thank you for your patience. This is a glorified hobby. Hopefully it turns around someday. But for now, we are Winnipeg's first and only paranormal podcast. Just recently, feedspot.com claimed us number 6 for this month of May. Out of 25 of Canada's best paranormal podcasts. We're going to get back to number 1. I swear to God we are. And also we are number 8 on the best Winnipeg podcasts out of a total of 45. Not a bad honor. Mix us in with all the Jets podcasts and whatever else. But anywho, that is it for now. I've talked way too long. Thank you so much for listening to us. And remember to live every day like it is your last, but never give up the ghost. Ciao for now. So we'll put the mic in the middle again and we'll let the person... Yeah. Okay, so that was awesome. Thanks for sticking around. We'll start the ghost story telling portion. And thanks again for Chris coming to share the information on the Winnipeg Ghostbusters. It's so cool. I wish I was younger. I would do it. Thank you. I'm sorry, I think I would break at this point. Before we start bringing people up that are going to share with us, again, my name is Jazz. I'm with Giving Up the Ghost podcast, Winnipeg's first and only paranormal podcast. Doing this with 7.5 years with me and my partner, Cher. Downloaded in 43 countries, 240 episodes, almost 50,000 downloads, non-paid, like we don't pay, we got no money, this is a glorified hobby. And July, we were feedspot.com's best Canadian paranormal podcast in Canada in July. But we'll get back there again one day. So, we drink, we swear, we share ghost stories, more specifically to the Winnipeg and Manitoba region, because we love our city and we fucking love history and hauntings. I mean, excuse the French. And we want to learn more. We like to share stories, hear stories, and keeping in mind when people come up and tell their stories, this is a very like-minded environment that we offer, because we want people to feel safe and in knowing that we totally get the stories that are being shared, and we've had our own experiences, and we want to make sure that you're able to do the same, to no judgment, because a lot of times people carry the weight of these stories of things that have happened to them, and maybe their family and friends don't get it and they get judged or criticized, or maybe religion plays a part of it, and we don't like that. So we want to be able to have a venue where people can feel comfortable in sharing. So that's pretty much it. So.
Safe open space.
Safe open space, right? But before we start, Ashley doesn't know about this. Me and Cher, I usually do this thing for Cher because I love giving stuff away. I love giving presents, and I always surprise Cher with a present, whether it's birthdays or Christmases, when we get together to record, which isn't too often lately. We try and get together as much as we can. I have a present for Ashley.
What?
And I have a present for Ashley because she's a beautiful, amazing soul. And I was so sick last month, I couldn't do Spirits with Spirits, and I was so disappointed because I had lined up Sydney Tugwell from Heritage Winnipeg. Doors Open is coming up at the end of May, so please keep that in mind if you want something really cool to check out. So I have a present for Ash.
Aww.
Here you go.
I love presents.
Thank
you.
Ooh. And furniture. You gotta wear it.
I have to wear it. Is it the napkins? Can I just tuck that in my
it's
shirt?
not that kind of podcast here.
Oh.
So now, it's funny, we were talking earlier, they're going to go out to Fort Lorraine in May, and I just invited myself, and it's going to be an overnighter on a private investigation. So I have a set, and now Ashley's got a set that we're going to have to wear while we're investigating. It's a onesie.
Oh my God, that's awesome.
You got to have that when you're
Thank
investigating,
you.
I mean, you know. So anyway.
That's perfect. Thank you.
You're welcome. All right. Unfortunately, I don't have one for Kelly. Nobody makes things that small. Kelly's tiny. Okay, so now this is the ghost story ghost story sharing, paranormal.
Paranormal.
We like to say paranormal because we're open to everything, right? So UFOs, aliens.
Yeah, well, we focus on ghosts. We want you guys to feel open to telling ghosts, aliens, cryptids, whatever you want, any type of paranormal story.
Astral projection.
Witching.
You
know, we want to hear it. We want you guys to feel comfortable telling it as well.
100%.
So, the first person we have on our lovely list, I believe, was Ashley. Woo! Come on up. It's a great name, by the way.
I'll let you sit here. You have to talk right into the mic, by the way. Sure?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, please do. But I'll get you to stand closer for my mic. So, there.
Hi. My name's Ashley. I'm a local tattoo artist, and I have a lot of the shops that I've worked at were supposedly haunted. So the first shop that I worked at, it was Osborne Village Inc., and you can tell that it's different because of the shape of the building of it is different than like the ones beside it. It's kind of like a barn shape. And I'm not sure if it's because the person who taught me, Cam, who's the owner, if he bought, if the activity in the shop was because of all the antiques that he bought, or it's an old building. I think he told me it used to be a speakeasy, but I don't really know if that's, I don't know. But anyways, so he had this old, so these aren't really first person, there are more stories that the artist there told me, and I don't know if it was to scare the apprentice or not, but anyways, they had this old jukebox, and the piercer who used to work there said that and it's not plugged in, it hasn't worked in a million years, it's big, one of those big old tall ones. She said that she'd hear music coming from it when it's not plugged in or anything. This one artist, Sean Farrell, who worked there, he worked on Sundays when there wouldn't be anyone else in the shop, and so stuff would happen to him like all the time. And there was one time he was sitting up at the front, and he let his client in, locked the door, and then he's tattooing him, and the door to his room is to his side. And he's working, and then all of a sudden he thinks he sees, like, in his periphery, someone walk past the front.
Right.
And he stops for a second, and his client was like, oh, someone just walked by. Like, they both saw it. So Sean, like, degloves, checks the shop, no one's there, and then continues on.
That's our favorite, when more than one person sees the same thing, because then you know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then the other one was I worked at Albert Street Tattoo, which is just around the corner from here. And that building was built, I think, in like 1913 or 1912. Probably. They built it, it burned down the following year, and then they rebuilt it. And I was tattooing late, and I could hear commotion coming from my coworker's room. And then at the end of the night, when I finished tattooing and I cleaned up, and then I messaged the group chat saying like, oh, I don't know if someone came and was like in your room, or if one of you guys came, because like it's either someone did or there's like a really inconspicuous ghost. And then my coworker was like, oh no, that was me. And then my boss was like, oh, we cleared out all the ghosts before you moved in. So,
right. Sure.
That's my story.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Thanks, Ashley.
Thanks.
Thank you for sharing. That's awesome. Thank you.
All right, and the next one is another wonderful name. It's Ash.
Ash. My new best friend that I was chatting up in the bathroom. She listens to our podcast, so I just love Ash today.
Well, I listen to you guys all when I work at night there. Yeah, it's wonderful.
Awesome. Oh, right, you're the security guard lady.
I'm the security guard, yes. You have lots of times.
Oh,
Yes.
Yes.
I've shared a few
Maybe there was
stories.
something different. I don't know.
Hair's different.
That must
It's
be
always changing all the time. So, yes.
You gotta keep up with the changes, right?
Yes.
I love your
Yes.
earrings. I just noticed they're
I'm a
big
Bigfoot supporter, so no thanks. I'm good standing.
Okay.
Thank you.
All right.
Yeah, no, you guys were talking about Open Doors Winnipeg, and we went last year to the Vaughan Street Jail. And I knew it was haunted, but it's not why I went. Oh, sorry. Yeah, that's not why we went. I like the history and like the architecture, the structure. I find it fascinating. So we went. Didn't really experience anything until I got downstairs. There's a part of the jail that is for, I guess they'd say like lunatics or something. These crazy girls. They would even lock wives up there if the husbands thought the wives were going crazy. I made light of it and made a joke of, oh yeah, like there's the volunteer, she was acting out as one of the crazy ladies down there, and we could be best friends, like, you know, just joking, making light. And then as soon as the doors shut, because they put us in the 2 cells, I just got overwhelmed with grief, and I just started crying uncontrollably, and I was so happy to be there. I was so happy about the history. No reason why I started feeling like this and just uncontrollably crying. I just turned to the corner so that people didn't see me. And she's talking about all, you know, there's chains on the ground, how they pinned them down, and I was just overcome. Like, I didn't see anything, but just that feeling, it was not my own. It was just like, you're gonna make fun of us? Well, here, this is what we felt. And that's what I felt for the remainder of the tour. And then when we got out, I was okay, but it was just like, I don't want to go back. I love listening to you guys. I like watching it. I don't want to experience it.
Of course
No.
not.
I know it's very taboo, but I like listening. I like watching, but I don't want to ever feel that again. It was just such despair. Yeah. So no. And then at home, my fiance's cat passed away before we had moved in together. Had this cat for 14, 15, 16 years, something like that. 17 years, sorry. Yeah. And he did not like me. He was a daddy's boy. Yes. Yeah. No, not my. Oh yeah. Sometimes I push his buttons. Bless his soul. So yeah. No, the kitty did not like me. But he passed away just before we moved in. But when I'm in bed, either with him or not, I also have cats. And it feels like something jumps on the bed with us, and I fully expect my cats to be there, and they're not. There's nothing there, absolutely nothing. So I can only chalk it up to be Buddy. It has to be Buddy, and I'm like, oh, he's telling me like, oh, this is my daddy. You know, it's like, well, it's okay. I'm not. It's so weird because you feel the depression or whatever, and it just something's on you. But you look, there is nothing there. And it happens so often that it has to be him. There's just no other explanation.
Maybe he's finally accepted you, the fact that he'll climb in bed with you now.
I did love him a lot, and at the end he let me love him a little bit. He just didn't care, so yeah.
But that's a cat. So.
Yeah, that's why I love them. They're picky. So even my boys are like, I don't feel like it.
That's right.
So yeah.
On their terms. Tell the security guard story.
Oh, okay.
I love this one.
Yeah. I just started that week, and I had to go to a building on Waterfront Drive. It's abandoned. I guess during the pandemic, homeless had gotten to there and did what they did. So our guard my job was pretty much just fire watch. So for the first little bit, I was there with 2 other guards at the night, and then at a certain point, they left. And I love the history. I love the architecture and all this sort of stuff. And I went into basements and that, and you could just feel there's just something, but I didn't know what. And as I'm doing one of my rounds, a shadow man, a big shadow man just crossed the door. He blocked out the entire doorway like this. The light was coming, and it just went dark. And I was on the phone with my boyfriend at the time there, and I was like, I'm not doing this anymore. I don't want to do this anymore. I went outside, and I was like, I don't want to do this anymore. And he was like, no, it's okay. So I went back in. I'm like, sorry, I freaked out. If you could please just not do that. I acknowledge you, and I love your building, and I love this history, but just, I don't want to see that anymore. No. So yeah, that was the biggest thing that I had seen, was that shadow. It was clear. I was just looking at the doorway, and it just went across and blocked out all the light. And I still have the chills just telling it. It was just, oh, yeah, no. Sorry, I won't go back to that building. No. I love the history, and I love it, but I won't go back. So, yeah.
Didn't you have a story too about, wasn't there
My partner is a little bit sensitive than I am, so, but that's not my issue to share. But
no worries.
I was on the phone with him while I was eating my lunch, and he could sense something behind me. He's like, he's interested in your lunch, and I could feel the hairs on the back of my neck stand up. So I knew he wasn't bullshitting. He was telling me the truth. You know, I'm just, it's just my food, and you know, it's. Yeah, and so he sensed it and that, but and then when the hair stood up, I was like, okay, yeah, that's a bit much for me. Yep, it's just food. That's it, you know, and that was about it there. So, yeah. And then I don't know if I should share another one.
Feel free. Yeah.
Okay. When I was moving from a townhouse just to another, a bigger one or whatever, they're side by side townhouses. The way it was set up is mine and my neighbor's stairs they weren't on each other's walls. They were on separate walls. So, well, that's not it at all. After I got everything out, I started to clean. The first time I went over to clean it, I unlocked the door, and before I even opened it, you hear just running down the stairs. And it can't be the neighbors, because the neighbors' stairs are not on that wall. So it's like, I knew what I heard. I knew I heard it, and it just, it's okay. It ran downstairs. It's okay. We're gonna go in there. I came another day to clean up, and it was just a not of this earth growl. It's not. It's something deeper than a lion. Something deep that just rumbled you, and I just started bawling. And I went outside. I was terrified. I called him, obviously. I'm like, I don't know what to do here. I don't want to go back in there. And he's like, no, just tell it, this is what's happening. And so, yeah, I went in there. I'm just cleaning. I don't want any problems. You know, just please go wherever you're going and you can come back. So I actually marked it with safety, with ruins, where he went down into the basement to try and protect the house, you know, hoping that he would stay there, because I knew another family was going to move in there. So I smudged the house and I put protection ruins on the basement doors. I don't know if that helped or not, but actually, when we were walking by a couple months later, we had seen the big shadow in the window. And that's how we kind of knew something was in there that whole time that I didn't know about. My daughter actually kind of felt it a little bit. But I just, no, it's you're growing up, you're just whatever, it's not. And she was playing with like a little witchcraft book, so I don't know if it had something to do with mirrors or anything like that. But when we moved in there was nothing. And then when we left, that has stuck with me. And when we moved to my new house, I was talking about it with family. And my keys, something, I don't know if it was keys, something was on top of the fridge, the middle of the fridge. We were talking about this incident, and it got knocked off, like right off, like about 3 feet away. So it's not that it rolled off, fell off. And that was the only incident that I experienced in that house. Yeah. So, like I said, I like listening. I love reading about it. I love watching it. I don't want to experience it.
No. Sounds like you've had enough experiences already.
Yeah, I'm good. Yeah, I'm good. So, yeah, I'll continue listening. Yes.
Well, we'll find you more stories. How about that?
You can share the stories.
Yeah,
Yes.
we'll find you more stories.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah,
I'm good with that. Yes.
Awesome.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thanks, Ash. That was great. Thank you.
All right. Emma.
Come on down. Would you care for a seat, or do you want to sit?
Not too sure.
Okay.
I'll see how
Whatever.
I've been.
Sure.
So I'm from Ireland, but I live here in Winnipeg right now, and I live in a house in Wolseley. It was built in 1912.
Awesome.
Beautiful.
And I thought it was haunted, but then I realized I just have 2 teenagers, so that's not what it is.
They are like ghosts, though. Like, you never see them, but you know they're there.
So when I was 11 years old, I moved into a house back in Ireland called Railway Cottages. I'll change the accent. Railway Cottages. And it was built in the early 1900s. And there was a railway out the back of the house, but it was disused. And apparently these houses were where all the workers lived when they built this railway in like the 1900s. Lived and died, who knows. So as an 11 or 12-year-old, maybe you see things, maybe you make things up, who knows. But there were a few strange things that I definitely experienced in that house. We had a boom box, is that the right word? I don't know.
For sure.
An old stereo, and it had a toggle off, radio or tape deck, imagine that. And 3 definite switches here. And you would leave the room, you would come back in, and the radio was on. That's not explainable to me. Like, this little toggle has 3 settings. There's no way that's happening on its own. So that was one of the things. Another thing was we had this lamp, a conch lamp, and it had a light bulb inside the conch. Again, it had a very definite on-off clicker switch, definitely on-off. Leave the room, light goes on, come back in, light goes on. Same thing again. So maybe this ghost was just obsessed with electrics, I really don't know. So that was a few of the things that happened. I did have a feeling, you know the feeling, the hair on the back of your neck, that type of thing. The set of stairs in the house had 2 levels, so like a down and an up. As a teenager, I felt like I had to hug the wall the whole way around those stairs and like always look at the open space. I always felt there was something there. So those were the things that happened in that house. That's all I'll tell you about for tonight. I do have another story where my mom saw a banshee, but I'll save that for next time. I'll get the story from her and I'll bring that one back.
We gotta know.
Well, now apparently we have to come back next time.
Now you all gotta come back.
I got her on iPhone. I recorded the whole story, so I'm going to note down all the details and I'll give it to you next time.
That'll be awesome.
I'd love that. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Appreciate that. That's great.
All right, now I believe it is Matt. Yep. Come on up, Matt.
Come on down. Hello.
Hello.
Here's your microphone.
I'll sit. Why not?
Sure. Make yourself comfortable.
Thank you. All right. So far, these seem to all be very personalized stories. These ones are more secondhand,
Oh, that's fine.
but places that I have been in my life. So I used to work at a summer camp called Camp Stevens, which is on Lake of the Woods, and worked there for 8 years. And it's the longest running summer camp in Canada. Which means it's been around for 135 years, so there's 135 years of ghost stories to go with it. And I used to run a ghost tour while I was working there. I would take the older kids, and I would take them around the camp, and I would take them to the various spots where the various stories took place in the pitch black, wearing a dark hood.
As one would.
And I told them these stories. And I had not one, but a couple instances where my children ended up vomiting, but no joke. But I don't remember most of the stories, honestly, that I told, but I do remember 2. So I'm going to share those 2 with you as it goes. So first and foremost, this is the story of the lady in white. There was a child who was making their way to the washroom in the middle of the night. They leave the cabin, they go to what we used to call the Clevis, and they would walk down the path, and to get to what we called Clevis 1, they had to walk down this straight path, and to their left was the swim dock, where all the children swam. This is the middle of the night, however. Nobody's swimming in the middle of the night. Nobody's on the swim dock in the middle of the night. The child is walking by, headed towards the Clevis, and, there's kind of an old saying that you don't look at the swim dock when you're walking by at night. You just don't do it. And maybe that rule comes from this story. I'm not sure, but this child was walking by, and he looked off to the left to the swim dock. And the swim dock, it's got a ramp to the main area of the dock. There's a nice hedge that opens up onto the swim dock, and he looked over. And he saw on the dock a woman in a white dress. Now, there are not usually women in white dresses on the swim dock in the daytime. There are definitely not women in white dresses standing on the dock in the nighttime. But mostly, there are not women in white dresses with no legs.
Oh, wow.
This woman was just floating there. The child ran to the dining hall where all the counselors hung out in the middle of the night. And he came inside and he told them of what he saw. And to this day, all of the counselors who were witnessed for this moment said that they have never seen a person more white in their entire life. This child was absolutely terrified, hair sticking up. And to this day, they truly believe that he saw the woman in white, in the white dress. And The second story also takes place on the swim dock. Swim dock, haunted, apparently. So, again, 135 years old, this camp. Longest running camp in the country. And there has never been a death there. Or so it's said. They're very proud of the fact they've never lost a kid. And, dangerous things happen at summer camps, but they've never lost a kid in that time. But one time, a tour was, families come to visit the camp to get tours to sort of suss it out. And a counselor was giving a tour to a family and kind of brought up this fact that there's never been a death at camp. Said, in all these years, we've never had a death. And this family member just kind of piped up out of nowhere and said, oh, no, that's not true. Oh. They're like, oh, well, we haven't heard about this. Like, no, there was a child who drowned off the swim dock in the 1960s. And apparently it wasn't a camper. It wasn't like during camp session. It was the child of a contract worker who was on the island to do some work on the camp, to build some buildings and whatnot. And they had brought their child, and this child had drowned in off hours, I guess, as you could say. Or so they said. And so, the legend grew that there had been a child that had at one time drowned off of the swim dock at Camp Stevens. And this woman, one night in the 1990s, her name was Sarah. She's actually a friend of my sister's. The camp counselors, they like to kind of spread out all over the island in their off time. They like to get away. They like to sleep in various places. They love to sleep under the stars. Well, this very brave counselor named Sarah decided she was going to sleep by herself on the swim dock. She laid out a mat. She went to bed on the swim dock. And middle of the night, she wakes up and she senses something. And she looks over to the lake and the ladder that leads out of the swim dock, and she sees a hand reach up over top the swim dock. She sees another hand reach up over top the swim dock, lying in her bed, and then suddenly the face of a child appears over the dock, looks at her, and then descends.
Creepy.
And that is the end of the story. She was scared.
Awesome. Thank you so much.
Everybody sleep well tonight, huh? That's awesome. Thanks, Matt.
Now I know why my son went to camp.
Oh, really?
It's really great other than the ghost.
That's right. Makes sense now. It all comes together for full circle. Anybody?
My kids go there too. They're the ghosts.
Anybody else have any other stories that they'd like to share at this point? Anybody? And that's cool. That's good.
Carly.
Oh, Carly. Yes, we've been wanting her up here.
I don't really have a story, but I'll tell you what's happened the past couple weeks.
Okay.
Oh, yes, please.
This is going to be good.
So we've gotten some new employees here, and when you get new employees here, you kind of go over all the tales that happen here. And one of our employees used to work here when he was 19, and now he's back again. And he worked in the kitchen, so now I'm hearing more kitchen stories and stuff like that. And I think he has more stories from up here, because I think he was more scared of up here and whatever. But I guess back in the day, the kitchen used to, or at least that was part of his job, where he would clean up here. So he told me there was more than one time, and he actually asked the bands to stop doing this, was that they would leave their instruments up here, and something would start playing them. He's heard the drums, and he's heard definitely the guitars strumming, more than once or twice. So he told me after about the third or fourth time that it happened, he told them they weren't allowed to leave their instruments here, and that he wasn't going to clean anymore. It was one or the other. So that's why you'll never see like the musicians leave instruments here anymore. Let's see what else has happened. The top floor, I don't know if you knew this, we just got a new soundboard. Okay. And one of our things that we used to have happen was the soundboard always used to all of a sudden get really loud. Okay. And we were like, oh, it's a soundboard, right? It's an old soundboard and whatever. The day that we got that, we're like, oh, well, at least the ghost won't be scaring us anymore with the soundboard. Within 5 minutes, it went and did that. Nice. It just blew up, to the point where we had to shut it off because it was so loud. Wow. So there's definitely something up here. We just don't know what it is yet. So that's just a couple of things that happened the past couple of weeks. You have to keep coming back to know what keeps happening.
There you go.
Thank you, Carly.
Thanks, Carly. And just coincidentally, when I edit these episodes, because it takes so long to edit, I'm still editing stuff from last fall and stuff. I got my own life too, so I mean, I don't get paid for this. When I'm editing stuff, I'm cleaning it up, and I'm listening, and I'm picking up on voices and stuff too, right? So there's a little bit of everything going on. And we were fortunate enough to have the pop-up sip and shop here last September.
Yep.
I was master of ceremonies, of course, because, I just love a microphone. And no, I don't. Whatever. I just pretend nobody's here. Anyway, so I was emceeing, and then it was in collaboration with Ashley and Kelly from the Winnipeg Paranormal Group. There was about maybe 15 tables, I think. It was on a Sunday, and so we were just talking, whatever, and I kept feeling like I was being touched on one spot of my head, right here. The episode came out about 3 weeks ago, because it takes me that long, and it's called Touched by a Ghost. I have been places before, and I do get touched quite a bit. I don't want that, but I don't know. I've been touched at, the Burton Cummings. I've been touched at the monastery out in St. Norbert. And that's the only things Lower Fort Garry. So I mean, because it's a different kind of touch. So that's why I know I'm being touched. So anyway, it was a slow moment.
It's a special kind of.
Because I'm special. That's right. Not in the no square, but I'm being touched. And the girls had their table over there, and I did have motion detector. I had a table as well that my husband helped me look after, and I have motion detector things. And they were going off all afternoon, and Miss Skeptic here is like, well, the batteries are old, that must be it. And I'm like, okay, sure, let's go with that. I think it was the first time we did Spirits and Spirits here a year ago, May. And I did see something out of the corner of my eye, the curtain flicker a little bit, and then when I was talking with the crowd after, a girl sitting where, Emmy, right? Yeah, Emma, where Emma's sitting, she says to me, you saw that too, right? And I'm like, oh, you noticed that? And that person also saw the curtain move right up here. And here we are. But the day of the sip and shop, it was slow, the girls had their gadgets. I'm like, hey, let's see if we can find something here. And we picked up a voice on the recording when I was editing on Touched by a Ghost, and it touched me again in the same spot on my head. The girls were in control of this. Was it the spirit box, or I can't remember what the tool was?
Yeah, we were using the spirit box. Kelly just had it attached to her portal, which kind of amplifies and cleans up the the noises.
Yeah, clear as day. They asked, I didn't ask the questions. They asked the questions. Did you touch Jazz? Yeah. Was that you behind the curtain? Yeah. It was and the answers were like this, and if you've ever gone investigating, answers don't come that fast. So it was very specific, and I've been touched by a ghost here. So that was my whole full circle story. And that was 4 weeks ago, I think that episode came out. Anyway, yeah, so.
You also sent me a little voice recording recently.
Of that, yeah.
Yeah.
Because they had a little banter back and forth, Kelly and Ashley, during that, sitting in the same spot. And what did it say again? It said, yes, it is.
Yeah,
something like that. And it sounded like it was right between us.
Kelly wanted me to use her portal, and for those of you, most of you probably don't know, portal is actually a very expensive device, and it's complicated to use, and it's Kelly's. So she's like, here, use it. I'm like, no, I don't want to.
What is it?
A portal is a speaker that we connect to our ghost box, which is a modified radio, and the portal actually amplifies and cleans up the sounds that are coming out of the ghost box. Mm-hmm. So I was like, I don't want to touch it. It's yours. It's expensive.
Yeah.
I'm not touching it. And then, we heard.
But because the three of us were right here, and these mics are very specific, I guess I should be speaking my own mic if I'm recording, right? And so they're you have to be right here, kind of, to get a really good, clear voice. And it was me, Ashley, and Kelly. And then when they had a little banter, and then the voice, it said something like,
Yes, it is.
Yes, it is. Just like, yes, it is. Just like that. And it's just like, oh, so it must have been like right there. But anyway, yeah. So there is something here, and you know, it's friendly, right?
Yes.
Yes. It likes to touch people. No, I don't know. Yeah. So that was it. We do have draws. Did everybody get their name in for draws? We highly encourage. We'll give away both little presents. Did everybody get their name in and have a chance to sign up? No. Yeah. No. Woo. Woo. Who wants to draw? Carly can draw. Sure.
So, first name is Emma. Oh.
Yay! Congratulations.
Thank you guys.
Thank you.
Oh, before you go, grab the second name.
It's not going to be an Ash. Ash.
Awesome. Ash, can I get you up here for a second? Thank you. That Ash.
Just 3 of us here.
That's right.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, so thank you for everybody coming out. We're going to sign off at this point. Thank you for everybody coming out. We're quirky. We like what we do. We do this for free. It's a fun hobby. I guess an expensive hobby. But
Expensive hobby.
Yes. So, and again, I highly recommend if you ever want to see what these girls are and what they do in action, it's amazing. It's awesome because when you go on a public investigation of a location, you usually break up in groups of like, 10 or 15, and you break down to like different floors, and everybody tries out their equipment, and at the end of the night, the cool part is everybody comes back and regroups, and like 8 out of 10 times, everybody from these different groups will actually have collected the same names, the same dates, the same, like it just
Had the same experiences.
yeah, like it reinforces that this stuff actually does happen, whether you believe it or not. But yeah, and where can they find you?
So best place is Facebook. I try and stay pretty active on there, so you can just look up Winnipeg Paranormal Group. We also have a website. You can email us at wpgparanormal@gmail.com. I did put some cards out on tables, so feel free to grab those, or I have more on my merch table as well. But yeah, stay tuned because we do have some events coming up. Right now we have our first event is going to be in Brandon on May long weekend. So if you guys are looking for a little place to travel, we're going to be working with the Brandon General Museum and Archives. It'll be our second time there.
Yeah. Did you guys just go?
That was the Daily House.
Oh, the Daily
Yeah,
House?
we were at the Daily House in October.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I'll be there with Giving Up the Ghost.
Yeah.
I'll be with them out at Brandon at the General
Yeah.
Museum. Yeah.
But yeah, so definitely check us out. We'll be posting more events as they get booked and scheduled. And like we said, if you guys have personal experiences in your own home that you're wanting help with, you can always reach out to us. We also do group events, so if you're looking for something fun to do with work or big group of friends, whatever, reach out to us, and we can set something up for you as well.
And as far as the podcast goes, we have 1 or 2 episodes every week, give or take, depending on how much time I have. Getting downloaded in 43 countries. And if you do have any stories that you want to share with us, like not in front of people or anything like that, definitely encourage you to email us at givinguptheghostpodcast@gmail.com. And how we sign off I'm going to test her, how we sign off every episode.
I'm drawing a blank.
So Ashley's going to help us.
Yep.
So, and as everything, remember to live every day like it is your last, but
Never give up the ghost.
Never give up the
never
ghost.
give up the ghost. Try.
It's all good. Next time.
Next time. Yeah, so remember to live every day like it is your last, but never give up the ghost. Thanks, everybody.
Thank you so much. Drive safe.
Thanks, Ash, for being a good sport.
I was testing her.